Hey everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to talk about table functions in DAX, one of the most important concepts once you move beyond basic measures. So far, we have covered aggregated functions, iterative functions, and variables. Now it's time to level up and understand how DAX can return tables, not a single values. So again, a table function is any DAX function that returns a table instead of a single number or text. And here's the key thing, we don't usually see these tables directly in visuals. We use them inside other functions like calculate, count rows, or sumx to perform dynamic calculations. All right, let's explore the most commonly used top five tax functions you will work with all of the time. So first up, we have filter, and as the name suggests, this one lets you filter out a subset of our table based on the condition that you define. And this is the example I have written. So let's just quickly look into that to see the behavior of that. So I would say something like I want to look at the sales by United Kingdom, and yeah, it makes sense. We can apply some sort of slicers in our visuals, but again, these kind of calculations we normally need that in order to build up a complex DAX function where we mostly need these kind of filtration to aggregate some sort of filter data. So I would say sales in United Kingdom, and I would apply a filter, and then sales, and I want to apply a filter on country. So I would type country here, and this is the column I want to say. Let's say I want to look at the sales only in United Kingdom. So let's just quickly see if that really returns all the rows with country is equal to United Kingdom if I don't make any spelling mistake. So yeah, it returns all the rows that fulfills this condition. So yeah, that's how we use filter function. And the beauty is you can use this inside something like calculate or any other functions where you just want to incorporate the sales in United Kingdom. So that's how you do that. And next is all function, one of the most important function. You want to, let's say where you want to ignore filters. So again, it just returns all the rows in a table, ignoring any filter that might be applied. So for example, when we just add the our any specific column into visual, it just apply the filter context there. So there could be cases like where we don't wanna add any kind of filter, so we just wanna ignore that filter and calculate something. So again, the way we do that is simple. Let's say I just go to new table, and for example, if I think I have some sort of filter applied in a country column, so let's say I would say sales with all countries, and I would just use all function, and here I would just apply the table name or a column name. And as it's written here, it just returns all the rows in a table for all the values in a column, ignoring any filter that might have applied. So for example, I think I have country filter applied. So when I will just grab it inside all function, then it will just ignore all the filters. But imagine, let me give you a little example of that, a real use case. So imagine you are calculating the percentage of total revenue. So you can use all function to remove filters and get the overall total, right? So let's say in order to calculate percentage, we have to divide uh, in a denominator by the overall like value. So that's where you can somehow use the all function. So let's move on to values function. It's also very interesting one. It returns a one column table with all distinct values of a column. So let's just quickly look into that. And here we will be using this example, customer ID. So let me show you customer ID in a table. So I have this base table, and as you can see, we have some rows with the blank customer ID, means there is no customer ID present. And then we have all the customer IDs. If I just sort it in a descending order, so as you can see, like my customer IDs are getting repeated. So let's say I want to uh, return all the distinct customer IDs. So how would I do that? I would just use the values function, and it would let me do that for me. So I will go to boarding, and then I will hit a new table. And here I would say like unique customers, and here I will apply values function, and it I can provide table name or a value name, column name. So whatever is applied, it just returns the unique values. And let me also show you one important point here. Let me first apply the sales and then the customer ID, this one. And let me show you its output to observe the data that we got here. So as you can see, like it's also returning blank here. So it's incorporating blank. It saw a lot of blanks there. It just returned one unique blank, and then it also returned all the unique customer IDs. So there could be cases like we want to calculate the let's say total number of customers, but in the data set we have this kind of thing. So we can just wrap it inside like values function and then use a count function. And it makes sense. We can even use this thing count, so that's just one example. But there could be other cases when things get complex and we just need to look at the data by more than one columns that should be unique. So in these kind of cases, we just apply the values function and then we commonly wrap it inside count rows, because if we just do a count rows, it would still return me the all the unique customer IDs. Obviously, it would also include blanks, so we can just filter out that as well. So next we have summarize function. That's also important one. So let me quickly do your demo of that as well. So I would say, let's say I want to, for example, let's say I want to calculate uh, revenue by country, let's say. So I would just say summarize, right? Which table I want to summarize? I want to summarize sales table, and I want to group by anything? Yes, I want to group by country. Okay, so here I can just uh, I can even do a group by more than one, but let's say I want to group by country and I want to, let's say, calculate some of the things. For example, I want to calculate the total revenue by country. I would apply the column name of the column that I want to give, and then here I would just apply the expression. So for this, I just want to do a sum of sales, right? So this one, and in the same way, let's say if you want to have multiple columns, you can just apply comma and then have multiple columns here. So let's, for the simplicity, let's use a simple one column here because we want to calculate the revenue by country. So this is how it would give me the total revenue by country. Sort of pivot table, you can say, that we commonly use in Excel, right? It's also very interesting and important one. It just group the data by specific column, and then again we can have some other columns as well. So let's say I want to have another column based on the, let's say, existing data. So I can just apply that here, or even I can create a new custom column here as well, right? So next up we have add columns. So let's quickly look into that as well. So it's used when you want to add virtual columns to a table without touching the original one. So let's look at the example. Uh, Here I would, let's say, create a new table, and here let's say I want to, for example, sales and for example, sales per item. I'm just giving the random name. So here I want to, let's say, add a column. Okay. Here it's just asking me first the table name, its sales, and then which column I want to add new as a new, right? So let's say I want to have a sales by or even sales per items, right? And here I can just write an expression. So for example, I want to do a sales of quantity multiplied by sales of unit price. So let's hit enter and try to see that what it actually returns. So, okay, it's getting loaded. I think it actually requires a lot of computation. So yeah, as you can see, like it firstly provides me all the columns, right, that we have in my existing sales table, and then it also provides me a new column that I calculated on a fly. So you can use it inside like SumX to perform calculations on that future table. Super handy. when you don't need to create a new table in your portal. But for the demo purposes, I actually created one. But in the normal cases, what you actually do is you just wrap it inside any other DAX function to perform computation. So this is the table, like it just gave me the sales per items, and which will be same. Like for the sales one, I just did a multiplication of quantity and unit price, so it's just giving me that same value. So yeah, that's it. A quick recap. Filter function, it narrows down rows based on the condition, and then we have all function. It ignores filters, often used in percentage of total logic. And then we have values function. It returns unique values of a column. And then we have summarize. It groups data like SQL group by. And lastly, we have add columns. It adds virtual columns to a table expression. So these five functions form the backbone of advanced DAX logic, especially when you use inside calculate, sum, X, or count rows. So yeah, if you find this helpful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for the next DAX concepts. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.